Hey guys, last night, Lainey came in the room and told me that something really bad happened. And it was to a fan of mine. Some fans of mine have chosen to do interviews with different blogs. And, I don't pay attention to those interviews, but what I do pay attention to is the fact that they went and interviewed with these people. And I'm just like, oh, okay, that's really weird that they would do that, but okay. Uh, anyway, so one of my fans recently went to a streamer's house, I guess. I'm going based off what I was told, what I saw on the internet, etc. But apparently they went to their house, they did an interview, and they wound up being taken advantage of by this person who does not like me, who has made videos clearly indicating they are very angry with me as a person, and who has made tweets directly saying, like, F you, Onision, and stuff like that. But apparently that individual got this underage, like not legal age as far as drinking goes, girl intoxicated and then proceeded to getting with her physically. First of all, let's talk about consent. You can't consent when you're intoxicated, period. If you were with someone while you were intoxicated, technically, in the eyes of the law, you were likely a crime was committed against you. Additionally, apparently this girl said no, 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 or something like that. Like clearly indicated they were not interested. At some point, I saw that they may have said, okay, do whatever you want with me. The problem is they're still intoxicated, even if they did say that. And here's my stance. If someone says no to me the first time, it's over, and that comes from a fragile ego. Like, you guys say, I have such a big head, I'm so into myself, etc. But there is an upside to that. And the upside is if someone rejects me, I shrivel inside. Like, I just fall apart. And at that point, you would have to basically beg me, on your knees, begging me to be with you if you rejected me like that. And the only reason this is actually a great thing, this whole policy of mine, is because a lot of times when people consent, they're doing it in the moment and they're not doing it after thinking about it, really critically. So when you have a situation where someone pressures you and then you consent, versus, kind of building up to it and you consent prior to the incident, prior to any intoxication, or and you're not surprised, there's a big difference between those two things. Because in this situation that my fan is in, she allegedly went to the hospital and to the police already. So this is pretty serious that this hate streamer, this anti-O hate streamer, did this to one of my fans. It's like, it's apparently in a live stream, she even said that she said, no, 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 like clearly indicated that she was not interested. So my point being, there are multiple ways in which this is a crime. And it's not anyone's fault but the person who actually committed the crime. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. It doesn't matter what situation you put yourself in. Like, being at his house is not an excuse for him to do whatever he wants. And that's his, like, common sense. But a lot of guys don't have that. When somebody's like, flip-flopping as far as their consent goes, you as a man, statistically it's more likely to be a man as the aggressor, are setting yourself up for them regretting it later and telling the public that you did something that you shouldn't have. And you did indeed do something that you shouldn't have. And the moment you're so desperate to be with that person because of, raging hormones or whatever, that you will ignore these factors and you'll follow through with it. But this is why people cheat. This is why people ruin their lives, because they live in the moment and they don't think long term. I just hope that my fan distances themselves from this individual as much as possible, but also make sure that the public knows the truth about them. Because guess what? The number one way that you can help protect people is letting them know that the people that they're around are what they are. So, I mean, a lot of times people don't know, especially with these kinds of things, because you have to get alone with a person and in a situation where it's optimal for them to try and take advantage of you, for you to realize the monster that they are a lot of times. A lot of people have been alone with me, and a lot of people know that I am just absolutely impotent. It's just, I don't try things. And the reason I don't try things is because I have so much obligation in my life, and I have so much responsibility as far as how I handle myself. I have 1,000 things going on in my mind, and I just don't want to put anyone in an uncomfortable situation. So that's why, like, so often you'll find people saying or not saying anything about me as far as how appropriate I act towards them, because there's nothing there. Anyway, yeah, this has gone on long enough, but I just want to do a PSA, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, watch your drinks when you're going out to clubs. Don't leave your girlfriends alone there, and don't let them leave you alone there. Take care of yourselves. Statistically, guys are pretty aggressive and gross, and if you don't protect yourselves, then you're going to find yourself in a lot of situations which are really, really bad. But even if you do find yourself in those situations, understand that it's not your fault. It's not the lamb's fault for being slaughtered by the wolf. It's the wolf's fault for going out of their way to hurt others. And if you think about whoever programmed that wolf, it's probably their fault the most. But nevertheless, we shouldn't blame the victims ever. What we should do is blame the people who had the choice to not get people drunk and to not take advantage of them and ignore them when they said no. Or even think that any type of consent while intoxicated after saying no is even remotely valid, even if they didn't say no in the first place. Intoxicated yes is a sober no. And I want you guys to remember that, both male and female, so you don't wind up in jail yourself. Because you may think, oh, well, she said yes, but if she was drunk, that's not going to hold up in court most likely. Regardless, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this. I want to thank you so much for giving support to the victim in the situation. And, just a personal suggestion. If you are hanging out with someone whose sole channel, like their only channel on YouTube, is a hate channel, based on the people I've seen go hang out with those individuals, they are not good people. Okay, like if they run an entire channel or blog or whatever dedicated to stalking one person, like every single video is about one person or every single blog post is about one person, I consider those people to be the epitome of scum. The only thing worse than that is basically the people who actually commit literal crimes. But stalking and harassment, where to the point where you have 60 videos or 60 blog posts, or the title of the blog is some variable of their username that's childish, immature, etc., or otherwise really, really slanderous or gross or just toxic. Like, getting involved with these people, that's what bad things are in store. Like, it can't possibly be a positive outcome there. I do not see how anybody could possibly get along with somebody who runs an entire, like, they dedicate their life to obsessing over some ugliness, like that's their entire damn channel. Never anything good. Anyway, yeah, but again, I'm not saying that, it's anybody's fault, because it isn't, other than the person who did the bad thing. Okay? And the reason is because if they didn't do it, it wouldn't have happened. All right? If say she didn't go out there and hang out with this guy, he probably would have taken advantage of someone else. Okay? And that's my point. It's not the victim's fault. Like, ever. Okay? Because people would say, oh, well, they were asking for it. If they were asking for it, that's consent. So, no, they weren't asking for it. If they said no, it's not consent. I can't believe society sometimes. There's no asking for it unless you literally ask for it, and then it's legally not a crime because it's consent. I just don't understand the logic of the internet sometimes. Anyway, what is wrong with you people? Anyway, yeah, so I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you so much for watching. I need to stop making this video. Okay, squeeze.